Hey up, everybody. Hey up. Good evening, Friday. What a beautiful day. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Today is all about Module 2. Module 2. So anybody that's tuning in, welcome. And if you have a Module 2, or maybe you're looking at doing your Module 1 and then, coming up to your Module 2, then this live stream is for you. So welcome everybody to RJH YouTube, weekly YouTube, but we're now doing it every week, although we might change the day and time, but it is becoming a weekly event, which is good. And the algorithms that YouTube are showing us are that people like what we are doing regarding the live streams. Very early days. I think this is the 5th. Very early days, but at the moment, Andy, at the moment, Lisa, Richard, welcome. At the moment, we will be live streaming weekly. Okay, so welcome everybody. Tonight is Module 2. So anybody that's looking at getting onto the journey of getting onto two wheels, then Module 2 tonight it is. Lots of useful information for you. You pay for this. Yeah, you will pay for this from your instructors. So lots of useful information free of charge. And also a lot of our instructors, or a few of our instructors, will be contributing on the comments below. So if I don't answer any of your questions, there are qualified instructors waiting at hand with their little keyboards. Yeah, so you can type away. Going to be a long one tonight, so I'm going to schedule a couple of hours. If it goes over a little bit, then so be it. And the sort of format will be everything regarding Module 2. Module 2. As I say, you're going to pay good money for that with your instructors. So this is free of charge. So welcome once again, everybody. I've got a few. Stefan, welcome back. Darren, that's Darren from up in Scotland. Darren, I have all your stuff here, mate. Forgive me, I haven't sent it. But I will be sending it up to Scotland early next week, and I will be running another competition at 8:30 later. So stay tuned. 8:30, I will be asking 3 questions, and the first correct answer, and you can have as many attempts as you like, the first correct answer will be get in. It's RJH logo cap, RJH neck tube, and an RJH lanyard. Yeah, and worth about 20 quid, I think, altogether. So they will be coming up for the first correct answer. Welcome, Mr. Holmes, Steve Holmes over in Burscough. Welcome to the live feed. And yeah, there's a few regulars coming through there. So please like the video. It does help spread them. Like the video, share the video, comment away. We'll get back to you during the evening. So everybody, Module 2. So that's the format. It's the final stage of getting your motorbike license. Now, whether that is an A1, an A2, or Category A, it is the 4th and final part to you getting your full motorbike license and your ticket to adventure, because it doesn't get much better than life on two wheels, believe me. Been doing it a little while, so I think I know what I'm talking about. Mr. Cropper, nice to see you, mate. I hope you've cleaned your bike after I seen it today, because it was looking a little bit dirty, but I do like the cameras that you've put on it. So very impressed, Jason. I do like your cameras. Andrew, welcome. a few new ones tonight, I think. Also, special guests again later, well, not so much a special guest really, but becoming part of the live stream is young Charlie. I think we've promoted him from Poodle. I think we'll leave the Poodle alone. We're getting a bit tired of that now, unless anybody can think of any other little AKAs for Charlie. So he'll be joining us in a bit as Charlie is becoming an important part of the booking procedures for RJH. Okay, so Module 2, everybody. Module 2, that is the format for tonight, or the topic of discussion for tonight. So let's have a look where we are. I've got a few bits of notes of paper here. We'll see how we go. Module 2 then. For those that have seen one of these, this is not so much dated, but of recent times, I say last 12, 18 months, the riding test report. Official title is a DL25. So the riding test report, which you get on your Module 1 and Module 2. But mainly now, these are done on the iPad. So you'll see a lot of the examiners, when you go for your test now, using iPads, and you get the report really sent through by email. So the days of having a hard piece of paper like this have sort of become, well, they've become obsolete. So but we've got a few of these, so I'm going to be using this. And what I want to do is sort of go through the Module 2 part of the riding test report, because this was also do your Module 1 as well. We'll go through the Module 2 part, just to explain what it is and what it enables you to do when you've got it, and how long it lasts and that type of thing. Any questions, please comment away. We will get back to you. A lot of experience the other side of the screen, and it can pass it on to you. All right, so don't be shy, and we will pass it on. So, as I said, Module 2 is the final part to getting your full motorbike license, whether that's an A1, whether that's an A2, or whether that's a Category A. The Module 2 test was introduced in April 2009. So prior to that, the old test was a one-part test on the road. Back in my day, it was just around the block, but the current test came out in April 2009. So two-part test, Module 1, Module 2. So Module 2. It is a 40-minute road test where you are riding with your examiner following you with a radio telling you where to go. Okay, 40 minutes. You don't have any maneuvers anymore to complete, because all of your maneuvers have been completed on your Module 1. So you've done your slalom, figure of 8, your slow speeds, your U-turns, your emergency stops. All of the exercises that used to be in the old test on the road, U-turn, emergency stop, are now done on Module 1. So your Module 2 is a 40-minute road test. It's really as simple as that. And we always try and simplify it for you, ladies and gents. We try and simplify it and make it as easy as it possibly is, because it is easy and it is only as hard as you make it. And how I try and explain that is that you are all, you know, you can ride your bike. You wouldn't be doing a Module 2 if you weren't ready, if your instructor didn't feel you were ready. As an example, if you're a car driver, when you get onto your Module 1 and you're riding around cones and all this sort of thing, it's a bit alien, it's not normal. Whereas you get out on the road, it's a lot more familiar. And the road is a lot more familiar. Even if you're a cyclist or a pedestrian, you're out in the open, on the open road, it's a lot more familiar. So we try and keep it really, really simple and ride out there like you are on your own. Yes, Mikelo DIY. Are you supposed to indicate when there are directional arrows, right or left? Yes, we do teach that. Yeah, we do teach that. But also your positioning is an indicator. So not just your signal, your positioning. But yes, we always do. And yeah, we always do encourage you to put your indicators on in those situations. Module 2 next Friday in Ipswich, nearsighted from the far side. So watch, mate. Tune, yes, stay tuned, because I am going to go through the whole Module 2 test report. All right, so there's a lot of information there, and you can ask any questions that you like. Darren, you'll get it next week, mate. Yeah, so you will get it. It'll be sent early this week. Andy, you don't have to indicate in a filter lane or right or left, but it's good practice too, as it helps make you more visible, and it is 100% clear which direction you're going. Spot on, Andy. That is a good result, man. Yes, well done. That is a good answer. Test day. Let's talk about testing. And I've got a lot of useful videos, as well as, you know, first 5 minutes of test, last 5 minutes test, but all the sort of different aspects of riding Module 2. I've got lots of videos on. So search our Module 2 playlist. Get on there, lots of information. So Module 2 report, riding test report. So where should we start then? It is 40 minutes. I think we said that, 40 minutes. Faults. So how many faults can we accumulate? On a Module 2 test, you can accumulate 10 minor faults and pass your test. If you accumulate 11 minor faults, you will fail your test. So you can pass your test, you can fail your test. You're going to have to do it again. None of us like to do that. So 10 minor faults is a pass, 11 minor faults is a fail. One serious or one dangerous fault is a fail. So you don't want any of them. Now, we, as an example, we had 6 Module 2 tests today across the schools. And, you know, so as an example, we've had one rider pass with 7 minor faults. And there's another rider that has failed with 1 serious fault. So everybody's different. But I'd say if you want to get a nice pass on a Module 2, all right, pass is a pass. So 10 faults, pass. A pass is a pass. But if you want a nice ride on your Module 2, you're looking at single digits. So say under 5 faults, I would say, is a nice ride. Now, no faults doesn't get any better than that. And we do have occasionally riders that have no faults. So that is a small elite club. But it's still a pass. So 40-minute road test and 10 minor faults, pass, 11 minor faults, fail, 1 serious, 1 dangerous, fail. Okay, good. So what happens on the test then? Module 2, you get to the test centre at your specified time. At the moment, there is a 10-minute, so we were sort of not allowed, because of COVID, not allowed to go into the test centre sort of 10 minutes before, although that's a bit inconsistent. But anyway, your instructor will be able to help with that. We have 1 test centre. You can't go in within 10 minutes. 10 minutes before the test. Well, 10 miles down the road, you can go in an hour before the test. So that's just how it is. But certain test centres. Yeah, that's so certain test centres. But you get there a little bit earlier than the designated time of your test. Lots of roundabouts, Mr. Watkins. St. Helens has lots of roundabouts, but no, a road is a road, mate. St. Helens is quite busy. So we had a few tests there today, but they are quite busy, St. Helens. Lots of roundabouts. Toby B, just want a massive thank you for all the RJH videos. Well done, Toby. Have I missed where you passed, mate? Where you think you might have told us before? Where did you pass your test? And there you go. Graham, good evening. So we're just about getting into the Module 2. Little bit of an intro. Anybody, please like the video, share the video, and comment away. It does help with the YouTube algorithms, and it does encourage us to make more videos, and particularly the latest live streams. Farnborough, well done, Toby. So what bike are you going to get, mate? Or have you got one? Okay, let's get back into it. I'm losing me thought trail. So you meet your examiner, and he will check your documents. On your module 2, you will need to take your photocard license, you will need to take your CBT certificate, and you will need to take your module 1 certificate, and you will need to take your theory test certificate. And generally speaking, if you haven't got any of those, you're not going to take the tests, although the theory test, because you won't have been named for the tests if you didn't have a theory. If you get there, maybe if you haven't got your theory test, get there early, and they can sort of hopefully contact the DVLA and take that. But yeah, all the documents, you will need those. Sign the declaration, and the examiner will kit you out with his radio. All radios now are mainly Bluetooth, so we've all got the Bluetooth, nice and modern radios. And first thing is, then he will brief you on what he wants you to do, which is really just ride for yourself. Don't wait for me, ride for yourself. He said you're out there on your own, and I'll ask you to turn left and right in plenty of notice. He'll also explain to you that from time to time he may ask you to pull over, and if he does so, just find somewhere safe and pull over as you normally would. And he may even just explain the double yellow lines rule, and I have a video on the double yellow lines rule, because yeah, you can, in certain instances, you can stop or park up on double yellow lines if your examiner is when you're on your module 2 test. But as I say, I've got a video, and I'll put a link on that below in the comments so you can have a look at it. They say there's no exercises apart from moving away. He may get you moving away on a hill, he may get you just moving randomly away, and he may get you moving away behind a parked car. And it is not uncommon on your route, on your sort of 40 minutes, 35, 40 minutes road ride, it's not uncommon for you to be asked to pull over half a dozen times. So, and that's again, first 5 minutes, last 5 minutes you test. And so if the examiner asks you to pull over and people panic, oh, what have I done? What have I done? What have I done? Well, don't worry, it's not that you've done anything. I sort of encourage people, in fact, when we sort of training people, I always say to them, the more times that you get your examiner to pull over, the better, because it means that he's not able to stay with you. Because if you keep getting away at junctions, keep getting away at roundabouts, fantastic. So the more that you hear him say, okay, then Rob, find somewhere safe, pull over, that is a good thing. That is a good thing. So don't think that you've done something wrong if he asks you pulling over a few times. And he will also explain that when you're out on the road, he will ask you to do the independent part of the road test. And that is that somewhere within your road ride, he'll ask you to pull over, and then he will explain that he's not going to be doing any instructions. All he wants you to do is follow the road sign. So in St. Helens, as an example, it might be, okay, Rob, find somewhere safe to pull over. We're going to start the independent ride now. Hi, Sylvia. Good evening. Graham, good evening. And he might just then say, I want you to follow the road signposted for Liverpool. So that's what he might say. So you then just ride down the road, signs for Liverpool, you go that way. Okay. So that's that. Then he'll ask you to, yeah, if you've got any questions, that sort of thing, then he'll ask you to go outside. First thing that you're going to be doing before you get to your bike, the first thing you're going to be doing is an eyesight check. So you will need to be able to read a number plate from 20.5 meters. And then once he's done that, you go over to your bike. He will make a note of the registration number, etc. And then he will ask you 2 questions on show me, tell me. 2 questions on the bike, show me, tell me. 1 question on the bike, carrying a pillion passenger. So let me just make a little note of what I'm going to make a list of, because what was that I said I would do? I said double yellow lines. I will put links below of the videos I have of the following: double yellow lines, how to deal with them on test, I'll put a link down below of the Show Me Tell Me's. We've got videos of Show Me Tell Me's and carrying a Pillion passengers. I'm going to put those. They'll go on there. And that's even before you get onto your bike. So if you've got a 40-minute slot, you will, it will probably take up to 10 minutes to do all the formalities and the questions and the eyesight. So I would say your 40 minutes has gone down now to 30, 35 minutes. All right. He'll ask you to get on your bike. You check the radio, make sure that's okay. Now, he could be following you in a car, and he could be following you on a bike. So people say, oh, he's in a car. That's easier test for me. Makes no difference. Whether he's on a bike, whether he's in a car, it doesn't make any difference. They're looking for the same thing. So don't worry about that. Okay, what's that, Michelle? Pulling up behind a large vehicle, is it preference to be visible to the right or left-hand side of the vehicle, or does it not matter? Yeah, go into position 3, right-hand side of your lane. You can see him in his mirror, he can see you, but you can then see further up the road. And if you go over to position 1, so you're looking at that, chances are people are just going to overtake you, Michelle. So just get, your 2-second gap is normal, but make sure you can clock him in his mirror. You can see further down, start planning, possibly overtakes and that sort of thing. Those are the sort of questions that we like, because those I might not get to those scenarios in the test sheet. So questions like that, is it Michello? Michello. Michello. Where's that from then? Italy. Everything with an O on the end is from Italy, isn't it? Roberto. Charlie O. Licio from Italy. Silvio. If you have to pull over to wait for an examiner, do you have to wait till he has pulled in behind you before pulling away? Nope, you go when he tells you to go. So in your own time, when it's safe to do so, you go. He might be coming down the road. So you listen. You listen for him. Or he might say, pull up behind that car and wait. And then once he's pulled in behind, say, right, in your own time, when it's safe to do so, you go. But it's when he asks you, when it's safe to do so, go. And he's not necessarily going to be behind you. So those are the questions we like. Keep firing those questions. Right there, before we go into it, the live feed, RJH, welcome. Module 2 is the subject. The final part of your motorcycle license journey, Module 2. 33 watchers at this moment in time. We had a record last week of the live feed of 62, so we would like to achieve more than that. The only way we can achieve more than that is by you guys liking the video and subscribe and sharing. So please do, so it does spread out. Stay tuned. 8:30, 3-question competition again, where we are giving a bundle of the RJH cap, RJH neck tube, RJH lanyard, and that is going to be at 8:30. 3 very simple questions. First person to answer correctly all 3 will be getting that bundle of goodie bags. So thank you very much. So you've done all the formalities then. Show me, tell me questions, eyesight check, you're on the bike, and he asks you then to ride away, and off you go. And, first 5 minutes of the test and the last 5 minutes of your test are the trickiest. First 5 minutes of the nerves. Get out onto the main road. He asks you to pull over, and you say, oh, what have I done? What have I done? What have I done? No, don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. 6 times at least, 5 times, 3 times. He could get you pulling over. You've done nothing wrong. So the more you hear that, the better. So first 5 minutes, they're trained to deal with people that are a bit nervous. Once you get on the road, you'll start to relax and get yourself going. And you just keep going. Ride for yourself until you hear otherwise. Yeah, Dingo, my examiner was in a car and not on a bike, which I must be unusual. No, that is not unusual at all. And I will explain, if somebody reminds me a bit later, I will explain why somebody is in a car or why somebody is on a bike. And it's not because of the weather. That's how he said, oh, it's raining today, that's why he's in the car. Nope, that is not why. The first sort of thing with the test report then, I suppose I would go into, is that everything you've done for your Module 1, and you've demonstrated to your examiner at some point, your Module 1, that you're in control of your bike. You are in control of that machine. That's the Module 1. It's your ability to show you're in control. Your slow speed, how you brake, how you turn, how you get up to speed. You've shown him all this, and you need to continue with that standard, that attention to detail that got you through your Module 1. Make sure that you carry that on to your Module 2. So that's very, very important. How you're stopping, using your brakes in the correct manner, how you're stopping in the control position, how you're doing your effective observations before you move away. So don't just forget about all that hard work. You carry that through to your Module 2. Very, very important. Well done to those. Yeah, we had a few Mod 2 passes today, introducing people into the exciting world of motorcycling. Andrew, slow moving traffic, moving a car length and stopping. Would you keep getting your left foot on the pegs or leave it down? No, you don't ride with the left foot going down. It needs to come up, down. Up, down. Don't walk with it. Don't get too close to the vehicles. At least 2 car lengths behind, and that should help you with that. Well done those, Andy. That's a good opportunity for slow riding, Andrew. Keep your foot up unless you come to a stop. Yes, hey, Andy's got the answers there. Hey, he's got a good blooming trainer, hasn't he? Hey, Andy. 50-50 if wet, 70-30 in good conditions. Andrew, bro, thanks, guys. Hey, I'll tell you what, Andy is a fan, isn't he? Hey, Andy is a fan. 39 people watching. 16 likes, so there's a lot of watchers that haven't liked the video, so please do so. Let's see those likes coming up. Let's see those likes coming up, please. The nearest test centre for Northwich is Chester for Module 2 and Wrexham for Module 1. We use them both. If you're lucky, you might get a Module 1 or a Module 2 in Shrewsbury. 51 miles from Northwich, down the A49, Chris. So if you haven't booked in with us, get yourself in with us, mate. Shrewsbury on a day like today from Northwich is biker's heaven. Especially if you pass your test as well. That A49 is yummy, yummy, yummy. Yeah, please share the video. Please share the video. 21 likes. Good. 40 people watching. So we're going the right way, guys. It's going to be a long one tonight. We're 27 minutes in. I certainly think it's going to be a 2-hour video stream. So, as I said, keep up with that Module 1 standard. Going into your Module 2 then, on your riding test report, we're looking at section number 13. And section number 13 is rear observations. So rear observations, everybody. And the description. So rear observations is you should use the mirrors fitted to your machine safely and effectively. Where mirrors were not sufficient, for example, to cover blind spots, then you must take rear observation, which is known as a lifesaver. You should always have checked carefully before signaling, changing direction or changing speed. You should have shown that you can use the OSM PSL routine more effectively. So let me have a little chat about observations, rear observations. And what we teach is DOS. It's an acronym. DOSS, DOS. So D, direction, O, overtake, S, speed, S, signals. So DOSS, whenever you're changing direction, wherever you're overtaking, whenever you're going to signal, whenever you're going to change speed, you need to take effective rear observations. We've talked about faults. We've talked about 1 serious and 1 dangerous as a fail. We've also talked about 10 minor faults is a pass, but 11 is a fail. So if you get 3 minor faults of the same subject, it is not, and I repeat, it is not necessarily a fail. Oh, I get 3 minor faults, I fail my test. Who says? It is not over until your examiner tells you over. So 3 minor faults in one subject as an example of rear observation is not necessarily a fail. The examiner is looking at your complete ride. So you might have a fantastic ride, but then one area, 3 minors, it's an area of development. You might just get a bit of a slap wrist, bit of a telling off, sort it out, and you can still pass. So don't think that 3 minor faults is necessarily a fail. Very good, Steve. Hi, Rob. You'll be pleased. I've just started the IAM assessment rider training. Good man. Yes, any further training post Mod 2 full license is worth it. And we are looking at a live stream shortly discussing routes to advanced, because I did a poll on the community section, and the second highest equal subject that people want to be looking at is further training advanced. So yeah, and the weather's just getting nice for that too, Steve. So you will be you'll benefit from it. It does help you become more considerate and sort of safer rider. First big bike, Honda CB500X or CB650. Hope you don't mind the non-Mod 2 question. It's a very important question. Go and sit on a couple. We've got CB500s for instructors. So we've got an instructor having one of those. Very nice. We've got the CB650s as trainee bikes. Beautiful, yeah, beautiful bikes. The CB500. It probably lack a bit more grunt than the 650. It's probably not going to be as nippy, but very economical. So what I would say, go and sit on them. And it's a different riding position. The CB500X is going to be a little bit more sit up, but go and sit on a few. Whereabouts are you, Michello? Whereabouts are you? I've got a good contact for your Hondas if you need one. Just an update. Pass my CVT, but I had the chance to automatic. Find different one. Not a problem. Northeast Gas, yeah, automatic. So get a conversion lesson in. When you revisit your training school and have a go with the gears, you'll feel a lot better. Can take a lot to take in. Can be a lot to take in. Does advanced course lower insurance premium? Yes, it does. Can help. I'm not saying it will. Depends who you're insured with. But any further training will reduce your. Ian, no, there are not. That is an old wives' tale. There are no quotas to fail. I can tell you now, from my 20 years experience, if you are good enough to pass, you will pass. So some will do. So yeah, DOS, direction overtake. So as an example then, your examiner asks you, okay, and Rob, I want you to take, at the end of the road, turn left. So if you're going down the road, you need to apply that OSM PSL. That's all linked with rear observation. Use observation, signal, maneuver. The process is check your mirrors, signal, maneuver into your new position, whether it's 1 or 3. So observation, signal, maneuver. Position, speed, look. So you could get a fault. So the examiner's a test route. It's a specific test route. He will know. He wants to see mirrors before the signal. So if he was, as an example, to see signals and then the mirror, that's a minor fault. And then he might think, oh, where did that come from? Why do you do that? And then you have a look and see if you do it again. See if that's where you can accumulate the same fault on the same subject. But the process, check your mirrors before the signal, before the maneuver. That is the sequence. When you're at the junction and you're going to turn left or right, the minimum observations, junctions, roundabouts, is looking right, left, and right again. There's no point looking right and left and going. You need to look right, you need to look left, you need to look right again before you go over the white line. Once you go over the white line, you're looking where you want to go. No point going over the white line, turning left. After checking to see whether it's safe to go, you turn and left, then you look over your right. What's the point? You're committed, you're going. So observations, very, very important. In DOS, direction, overtake, speed, signal. Observations, really important to get those lifesavers in when you're moving away. So always the last lifesaver is the area you're moving into. So if you're moving off from the side of the road, you go left, and your left lifesaver is over your right before you move away. If you major to minor, right turn, your lifesaver before you turn. Exit in roundabouts. Yeah, you're going to be doing your lifesavers. And I've got all these videos. So I've got roundabout videos showing you observations. I've got videos doing observations. So I'm going to put some links below, which will just reinforce what I'm discussing now. So roundabouts, junctions, So observations are a really, really important subject on your Module 2 test. Well, not only Module 1, but Module 2, because, you know, on a motorbike, you are more vulnerable. You're out there in the open. So observations really, really important. So signaling, changing direction. So, you know, you're going down a dual carriageway. Do you need to indicate if you're overtaken? Well, yeah, because the car in front you're overtaking will benefit from you. So yes, you know, if nobody's going to benefit from an indicator, you don't need to do one. But if somebody will benefit from an indicator, then do it. Really important with your changing direction with your rear obs is lifesavers. So I've just got into signals there. I was looking at sticking on rear observation. So you're changing a lane, lifesavers. Mirrors are not enough. So that's rear observations. I think I've covered most of that there. And yeah, so that's section number 13. Stefan, yes, they do need to be natural. You're not doing it because you're being watched. You're doing it because it's natural. You know, and I always say you don't go into a space that your eyes haven't been first. So you don't go into a space that your eyes haven't been first. So it is really, really important. For general riding, staying on the same road and just being aware of what's behind, should you be checking both mirrors or can you just favour the right? No, check both your mirrors because, you know, going to give you different information. So, yeah, check both your mirrors. We recommend every 8 to 10 seconds you want to be checking your mirrors. Changing speed mirrors. Your speed sign, so you're going down the road, you're in a 50, and looking at the road ahead, you see a new speed signs for 30. So if your brake light's going to come on because you're slowing down, you want to be checking your mirrors before you use your brake. So what's behind me? How can I use that information? Maybe I'm going to be braking a bit earlier. Or maybe I don't need to brake. I can just roll off the throttle because my engine brake can slow me down. But if I've got a car behind, I want to just use my brakes to activate my light to warn them behind. So mirrors are really, really important. If I'm going down the road, I'm in a 30 and I see new speed signs for 50. Once I get to that sign for 50, I'm going to check my mirrors and I'm going to look over my right shoulder before I accelerate up to 50. And the reason I'm looking over my right shoulder is that there could be a vehicle, a hot shot coming up, overtaking me. So just check my mirrors, look over my right shoulder before I accelerate. And you don't do that until you're into your new speed. Good evening, Mark. Sorry, late, just got back. Not a problem, mate. You are, yeah, not a problem. Good to have you back, buddy. Absolutely, Stefan. See too many people has a CBT or license, then stop using obs. Observations are really, really important. So that is rear observations. I think I've covered most of it on rear observations. So let's just recap again. 41 people watching. 62 was our record last week. I'd really love it if we could beat it. 43, and we got 25 likes. And these are, yeah, small numbers, but we're really, really excited about these numbers because it's getting better each week that we actually do the live stream. So each week it is getting better. So please like and share the video, guys and girls. It does help encourage us to do more. Tonight's subject is Module 2, the final part of getting your full motorbike license. Content is golden, Rob. Thank you very much. And there is certainly a lot of content coming tonight. Module 2, and you would pay good money for what is being discussed tonight. A lot of experience, not from just myself, but also in the comments. You've got Andy Davis, who's training to be an instructor. You've got Graham Cook with us tonight. He's training centre manager in Manchester. And you've also got Sylvia Eager, who's training centre manager, multi-site training centre manager in Northwich and Wigan. So we have a lot of experience, ladies and gents. So get those questions in. Get those questions in. You will benefit from this video if you are in that process of learning to ride and getting your bike license. Specifically tonight is Module 2, We did module 1 last week, so you can check that live stream out, and we did CBTs the week before, so lots of information out there. On a single carriageway, is it okay to overtake without being instructed by your examiner? Absolutely. If you get an overtake, you're going to get a brownie point, but you need to take into those 3 golden rules. Is it safe? Is it legal? And is it going to benefit you if you do it? So on your test, if you get an opportunity to overtake, if it's safe, if it's legal, if it's going to benefit you, go for it. All right, go for it. Thanks, Charlie. So overtaken, yes, that will get you brownie points. Janine, I've got my second DAS lesson tomorrow. I'm loving the bigger bike. Great, good for you. So where are you training, Janine? And what bike are you riding? And are the videos helping? Andrew, yes, there are. So there are checker bent. I've got the video of checker bent. That is in that's the A6 Chorley checker bent roundabout in Atherton. And I would say yes, there are that type of multi-lane roundabouts in St Helens, and some of them have got traffic lights. So yeah. So if you haven't done any riding around there, you know, get over there in your car if you're a car driver, or go on Google Earth. You can have a look at them. But we are looking at, I think Sylvia's going to be looking at doing a few test routes for St Helens. It's the one we actually use St Helens Test Centre more than any others, because we're accessible to St Helens from Northwich, accessible to St Helens from Manchester, and accessible to St Helens from Wigan, all within an hour. So it is our most popular. Janine, I'm training Nottingham. Who are you training with, Janine? Are you training with my mate Russ? Thank you, Charlie. Are you training with my colleague over in Northwich, over in Nottingham, Russ? So rising slightly again, 51 people watching at the moment. That golden magic number is 62, and we've got 30 likes. Moving on then, module 2 again. Let's go to section number 14, which is signals on your test report. Section number 14, signals on your report, and you should have only used the signals shown in the highway code. You should have signalled clearly to let others know what you intended to do, particularly if it would help other road users or pedestrians. You should always signal in good time and ensure that a signal has been cancelled after the manoeuvre has been completed. You should not beckon to pedestrians to cross the road. So signals very important. Yeah, I have a great video on a sequence I've used to train my muscle memory in order for me to cancel my signal. And so I've got a video. I'll put the link down below. One of the common faults on a mod 2, which will result in a fail, is that examiners have to tell you to turn the indicator off. So always make sure that you are turning your indicator off. Janine, yes, Roadcraft with Russ over in Nottingham is there. Yes, so hope they are looking after you, Janine. They are very good at what they do, and you are in very capable hands over in Nottingham. So yeah, let's think about signals. So right then, Rob, find somewhere safe and will I get a minor? Sorry, PC, will I get a minor if I choose not to use a bus lane even though it's available to me? No, you could get a serious fault if you don't use it. If you don't use a bus lane because you're allowed to use a bus lane and you don't use it and you get undertaken, if somebody undertakes you, you'll pick up a serious fault. So check your mirrors. If your examiner's gone in the bus lane, you get in the bus lane. Make sure you're comfortable with what the time is of your test. Make sure you're comfortable with what times the bus lanes are, but you should be using the bus lanes if you're allowed. So you could get a serious fault and fail your test. It has been known. Moving on to signals. Okay, Rob, find somewhere safe, pull over, check your mirrors. Do you need to signal? You don't signal for the examiner. You signal just you signal because you want because you need to let people know what you're doing. So Observations. So find somewhere safe, pull over. Observations all around. You're checking your mirrors. Nobody around. Just pull in. You don't need to signal. Okay, when it's safe to do so, move away. Have a good look around. Again, nobody benefit from the signal. Don't signal. Just move away. And that's absolutely fine. And a lot of people prefer to indicate in, prefer to indicate it. And the trouble is, I've had people that pick up a serious fault, and he comes back and says, "Yeah, very, very sorry to say you passed. Would you like me to explain why?" And I asked you to move away. You moved away with your left indicator on, and you made mixed messages. And he said, "Why did you even indicate in the first place?" So indicate in if you're going to pull in, not a problem. Indicate out when you're pulling out, not a problem. Make sure you cancel those indicators though. So make sure you cancel the indicators. So yeah, you don't necessarily need to indicate moving in or moving out. Indicate round, go around housing estate, and there's a bill. It's dustbin day. There's a big dustbin man, and you're indicating around it. What about a junction that's on the right? Somebody might think you're going in there, not to. So your positioning can be the most powerful signal that you've got. So if you see a dustbin wagon down the road, if you come over to position 3 and get your speed under control and everything, and your position 3 is telling the vehicle behind what you're intended to do, and then of course safe for you to go and whatnot. Have a look over your right shoulder, come out, and that right lifesaver is your indicator. So I've not even indicated, I've not put a signal on. Then once you've passed the wagon, a left lifesaver to come back in. So I've made that maneuver. I've overtaken that maneuver in a really busy housing estate with school kids and everything going on. And I haven't indicated, but everybody knows what I've done by my position and my lifesaver. An indicator in that scenario could confuse people. So be very, very comfortable with where you're indicating and why you're indicating, and be very, very comfortable about turning the indicators off. And the other thing about signals is the timing. So the timing of putting your indicator on. At the end of the road then, Rob, I want you to turn left. Well, there's 2 junctions on the left before the end of the road. So if I put my indicator on before the 2 junctions on the left, the timing of that indicator is going to confuse people. So again, I can let my positioning take over. Positioning, I'm in the left lane. Positioning is telling people where I'm going, but I'm not going to indicate until I'm past any confusion. So timing of the indicator is very important. And remember, always turn that indicator off, or your signal. So that's a bit about signals. Hope that helps. Any questions, please fire them away below. Yeah, Lee. So yeah, most people will find it easier, but everybody's different. So big bike, remember, it's the same as a little one, just a bit heavier. So think about how you're stopping and starting. Yeah, your accelerator is going to be a lot more powerful. Your brakes are going to be a lot more responsive. Your weight of the bike is going to be a lot heavier if you lean it over too far. But generally speaking, give it a few more goes on it, and you'll be loving it, and you'll be thinking, "Oh, what was the fuss about?" All right. So again, welcome everybody to RJH's live stream. Tonight's topic is module 2, and it's going to be a long one. I will be we will be getting Charlie involved a little bit later, who is going to be looking, having a chat about bookings and things for module 2. He looks after all the module 2 stuff. But for now, we are talking about module 2 test. And anybody that is looking at getting their bike license in the process of training, then this live stream will help. You can get asking questions galore. We have a lot of experience available at the fingertips, so please do comment away. Good evening, Rob and Pottersmiths. Rob, I have a viewer commented a lot on your vids. Do you see pros of multiple 2 or 3 hour lessons as opposed to intense week? Yeah, 3 hour lessons is what we do now. Spread your train over a couple of weeks. 3 hour lessons. There's a lot to take in. We don't train full days anymore. Those days have gone. The roads are too demanding, and your concentration levels are a lot higher, and it's very, very tiring. So 3 hour lessons really now maximum, and you're frazzled. Another day or 2, then you can process it. So certainly strongly recommend 3 hour lessons spread over a few weeks. It's a lot more productive. Okay, so section number 14, signals. Hi, loving the stream. Failed my mod 2. First turning out of a test centre, left the indicator off. First 5 minutes. Did pass second time with no faults. Keep up the good work. Well done, Dean. Thanks very much for that. Yeah, first 5 minutes, last 5 minutes, statistically are going to be the hot spots of people if they are going to fail. First 5 minutes and last 5 minutes. So let's move on to section number 15. So section number 15, clearance to obstructions. So you need to give parked vehicles or other obstructions safe clearance when passing. Watch out for changing situations such as pedestrians walking out from between parked cars, doors opening and vehicles trying to move off. Be prepared to slow down or stop if needed. So that's a lot of anticipation there. So section number 15, clearance. How much clearance we recommend is a metre. So we'd always say a metre, parked cars, doors opening, a metre for cyclists, a metre for any obstruction, and that's a good distance, good safe distance. And yeah, so you know, and anticipate pedestrians, and you know, you just got to keep all your senses going and consider that speed change. All right, so consider that speed change if you are anticipating. And use all your experience as well. You know, a car, somebody sat in it, you can see if somebody's sat in the car. You can see if the car's about to move off, got exhaust fumes, or you can see that somebody car might be moving off if the brake lights are on. So, you know, or the wheels are slightly turned. So use all of your experience and you will, you know, you will get, be prepared, really. Okay, so that is section 15. Any questions on those? Just get them in there and we will answer them. But I think that's covered 15. Number 16 is quite a large one. And I think when I do me sort of briefing with when we sort of commence people's module 2 training, I always, when I come to number 16, I always sort of think of number 16 as probably the biggest, the most, not the most important, because they're all important subjects, but I think it's the one that I try to encourage people to be aware of more so, and that is the subject of response to signs and signals, because it's such a big one. So road signs, information on the roads, whether it be road markings, road signs, if you're missing them all, then you're not going to respond. As an example, you're on a main road and you're going to turn off into a side road. So the main road is maybe a 50 and the side road you're going into is maybe a 30. Well, if you don't see those 30 signs, then you're going to carry on going at 50. Or if you don't see the 30 signs, you don't know what speed you're going. Then you're going to be thinking, well, I guess it then. It's, oh, is it a 20 or a 30? I'll go 25 then. Well, that's not good enough, because if you're doing 25 and a 30, he knows if you've missed the 30. If you're doing 25 and a 20, he knows you've missed a 20 because of how you've entered into the road. And that's just one example. It could be, you know, national speed limit sign. You've missed it. It could be traffic lights, the sequence. You know, somebody, we've had in the past, somebody, green lights on, and the examiner saying, come on, are we going to go? You know, whether it's confusion, because green, we should know it's safe, go, don't you? But response to signs and signals, solid white lines at junctions, solid white lines in the middle of the road, white zigzags, response sign signals, double yellow lines, green filter arrows on traffic lights, signs and signals, yellow box junctions. So a lot of attention. You need to be aware. Response and sign signals, bus lanes, you know, the flashing amber on a Pelican crossing and people are waiting, not going. If it's safe, you should be gone. So it is a real important one. Now, you've passed your highway code, you've passed your theory test, so you should have an understanding of your highway code. But, you know, when you're, you know, on the test, try to think of it as a road ride, then, you know, you sort of do things slightly differently if you're not focused. Okay, so I always think response to signs and signals is a really important one. Now, the description is on number 16. You must show that you can react correctly to all traffic signs, road markings, traffic lights, and pedestrian crossings. Obey signals given by police officers, traffic wardens, highways agency officers, and school crossing patrols. You need to watch out for signals given by other road users and ride only when you're satisfied it's safe. So it is quite an important one. And, you know, I discuss a few scenarios with my trainees, like the flashing amber at a Pelican crossing. So what are you going to do with that? You know, what are you going to do about a yellow box junction? What are you going to do about a cycle lane? You know, cycle lane as an example, you're going down the road and you don't want to turn right, but there's a car in front. Sorry, you're going down the road and you're going to go straight on, but there's a car in front turning right, so you can't go. But you could, there's enough room to look, you know, go under him on the left. But there's a cycle lane. And then what do we do? You want to look over your left shoulder and go, yeah, but they can't. There's a cycle lane. So I said, well, okay. So the first thing is, what about a cycle lane? Then are we not allowed in it? And in that instant, you know, if it's a dotted white line on the cycle lane, you could look over your left shoulder, go into the cycle lane, right shoulder, and then you make your progress. But if it was a solid white line on the cycle lane, you wouldn't want to cross it. Response to signs and signals is another example. You're going down the road and you want to turn right. Busy road, busy road. You've got traffic coming up behind you, going up the left. You're turning right because you're in position 3. There's traffic waiting to come out and there's traffic coming towards you. So really, really busy, quite a lot going on. And you're the lead vehicle waiting to turn right, but you can't turn right because there's traffic coming towards you. So then somebody flashes their headlights. What do you do? So, you know, if somebody is flashing their headlights, if you're in the correct position, you're controlling the traffic coming out of the junction, you're in a safe position, people are making their progress. If you're interpreting that signal to you, that flashing of the lights to you, and it's safe, then you should take advantage of it and go. You know, so if you wait, you can put yourself in danger. But what would you do if you're a car driver? But the answer is, if it's safe, and you've interpreted it correctly, you can go. And that would be response to signs and signals. So there's quite a lot with that. Okay, number 17. So get those comments away. What do you indicate when passing a cyclist? Well, if somebody would benefit from the indicator, then yes. If nobody would benefit, then no. So if there's nobody about, no. If there's a vehicle behind you, maybe yes. If you think somebody would benefit from the indicator, then do so. A lifesaver should be used on the direction of travel, correct. And I always also say is I wouldn't go into a space that my eyes haven't looked in. So yes, lifesavers are really very, very important. Really very important. What number are we on to now then? Use of speed. Use of speed. So what we got? We got 41 on now. I think we peaked just shortly, about 50. So that's not bad. And got 35 likes. So those are going to go up, hopefully. We're about an hour in. So thanks very much for joining us again, everybody. Live stream, RJH, weekly live stream. We are talking tonight about Module 2. So if you are thinking about getting your full motorbike license, this is the final stage. And we are going to be running a competition at 8:30. And Charlie will be joining us shortly also. So please do stay tuned. Please do comment away and like away. Lots of free advice on your Module 2 test. Right, so we're looking at use of speed, number 17. you should have made safe and reasonable progress, keeping in mind the road, traffic and weather conditions, road signs and speed limits. You needed to show confidence based on sound judgment, remembering at all times that you must be able to stop within the distance you can see to be clear. Really important. So speeds, what are you going to get on your test today? You're going to get 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, national 70 potentially. So remember, they are limits, they are not targets, but your examiner would like you to take into account road and traffic conditions, weather conditions, and get up to speeds if it's safe to do so. And, if you're on the dual carriageway and you're doing a 40 mile an hour and it's a 60, you're going to struggle. But you need to take all that into account. So very important, teaming up with the response to signs and signals. If you don't know what the speed of that road is, how do you know how to meet it? And that's as simple as that. And yeah, always be able to stop in the distance you can see to be clear, particularly then bends and stuff, very important. Be able to stop in the distance you can see to be clear. So combining all that with your observations and your anticipation and your awareness, be able to stop in the distance you can see to be clear. Number 18 then, following distance. Let's go back to the speed. Ride for yourself, get up to your speeds. Don't worry about the examiner. Ride for yourself, get up to your speeds. Nice, brisk, safe ride. 18, following distances. You should have kept a safe distance between you and the vehicle in front. You should have been able to stop safely well within the distance you can see the road to be clear. Leave extra distance if wet or slippery conditions. Leave sufficient space when stopped in traffic queues. Right, traffic queues, traffic lights, junctions, 2 bike lengths. Allow 2 bike lengths. So if you're allowing 2 bike lengths, you can get around that vehicle if you need to, if he breaks down or stalls or whatever, you want to get past him. If you get right up the back side of that vehicle, you're going to make it very hard for yourself. So at least 2 bike lengths. When you're out and about riding, keep it simple. Only a fool breaks a 2-second rule. And if it's wet, 4 seconds, double it. In the wet, statistically, it can take up to twice as long to stop. So remember, a couple of bike lengths at junctions, traffic lights and stationary traffic, a couple of bike lengths, you can get around it. And only a fool breaks a 2-second rule, and double it in the wet. So if you don't know how to work that out, quite simple. You're riding down the road, car in front of you, vehicle in front of you, get a lamppost and make sure that you can count to 2. If you can't count to 2, then just say to yourself, only a fool breaks 2-second rule, because that'll take 2 seconds, but use a safe distance, 2 seconds. That is following distances. Okay, number 18. Number 19, which is maintaining progress. You need to show that you can ride at a realistic speed appropriate to the road and traffic conditions. You should have approached all hazards at a safe, controlled speed without being too cautious or affecting other road users. You should have always been ready to move away from junctions as soon as it was safe, correct to do so. Riding too slowly can create dangers for yourself and others. I think the maintaining progress on the test, on the Module 2 test, if I sort of sum that one up, people don't ride for themselves. So they come up to a roundabout or a junction and they're waiting for the examiner to be able to go with them. And that's not what he wants to see. He wants you to see you approach the roundabout, approach a junction, get the observations in as early as it's safe to do so. And he wants you to get going. Okay, he wants you to go. Now, I always think, hey, Mr. Dave Smith. Mr. Dave Smith. Lord. Dave Smith. So yeah, he wants you to get going, and the biggest thing, people will fall into the trap of not riding for yourself. All right, so forget he's there, treat him as a sat nav, ride for yourself, get going. The more times you hear that, okay Rob, find somewhere safe, pull over, the better. The more you hear that, the better, because it means that you're making that progress. But you need to be safe. You need to be safe. The approach to the junctions, the approach to the roundabouts, the earlier you get the observations in and the smoother and the quicker you can get away. Absolutely great. And then, he'll enjoy that, because you come back and you say, thanks for that, Rob. I enjoyed that ride. You just got going, and they like that. But you need to be sensible and adjust the speed when you think it warrants being adjusted. Okay. Right, junctions including roundabouts then. So this is number 20. Approaching speed, observation, turn right, turn left, cut and corner. So 20 junctions. Your examiner looks to see that you've dealt safely with road junctions. Use the OSM PSL routine: observation, signal, maneuver, position, speed, look. And that is essential to negotiating junctions around roundabouts safely. Turning right across busy roads, dual carriageway, is particularly dangerous. You needed to be confident you can judge the speed and distance of oncoming traffic safely. You needed to look out for other road users emerging and turning at junctions and be ready to move or stop. You need to be extra careful watching in poor light or bad weather conditions or move on. So again, this is all roadcraft. Speed approaching roundabouts and junctions is determined by your visibility. You need to be able to look right, left, and right again before you commit. So speed needs to be, if there's less visibility, lower the speed. Yeah, lower this. Yeah, so it's all relating to your visibility. But yeah, so OSM PSL: position 1, turn left; position right, turn in. Position 1, turn left; position 3, turning right. But be flexible. You could have obstructions, which mean that you can't get to those positions. You might need to cut the white line slightly if you've got obstructions like parked cars at junctions. So be flexible. It's all about being safe. It's all about being flexible to the conditions. But really, really important: the speed on approach, the observations, your position in turning and cutting corners. Really, really important. If you're turning right or left and you're just looking right and left and going, it's not enough. You need to look right, left, and that final right again. That's the minimum. Right, left, right. Yeah. Yes, I am Lord. I am a Lord. I am a Lord. I've got all the documents to prove it. And I own a piece of land in Scotland. I've got a certificate to prove it. Lord, how it. So how many we got? 43. So we're getting up to nearly coming up to the competition time. Another 20 minutes, ladies and gents, and we will be running the second competition, where you can win a goodie bag of RJH stuff: the lanyard, the RJH cap, and the RJH neck tube, worth about 20 quid altogether. But those are on offer. We have 3 questions. We're going to be doing those at 8:30, so do tune in. And do like and share the video, please. And it does help. Good evening, Donna G. Good evening. It's all looking good. So before we move on again, to section number 21. So before we move on, recap on the live stream, RJH live stream, talking about module 2. All tonight is about module 2, the final part of your route to getting your motorbike license. So please do comment away any questions. Lots of useful information. And the test centres have been open all week after lockdown 3, so we have had a busy time. Let's move on then to section 21, judgment. So your examiner assesses your judgment skills throughout the test. You need to show sound judgment when overtaking, filtering, meeting or crossing the path of other road users. You should have only done so when safe and legal, making your intentions clear and being sure to understand the intentions of other road users. So yeah, judgment, overtaking, filtering. Yeah, so overtaking, if it's safe, if it's legal, you're not necessarily going to get an opportunity to overtake, but if you can, you're going to get brownie points, of course. And dual carriageways and things, that's what you can do, overtake. A roads, yeah, I mean, if it's safe, it's all about safety. It's all about if it's going to benefit you. So use all your experience. Filtering, don't really filter that often. Some examiners are okay with it if they're on a bike, if not in a car. To be honest with you, the roads are getting a lot busier now, but filtering, I've only ever known it a few times, but the examiner would generally, just over to you. If you're happy to filter through, then I'll come through with you. If not, then don't worry. But it's not a necessity. So it's something that, post your practical test, you can be looking at getting some further training. Meeting traffic. So meeting traffic rules of priority. Stationary vehicles on your side, stationary vehicles on the other side. Be flexible with your positioning. When you are meeting traffic, you don't want to make any vehicle change speed or direction because of your actions. So don't just go bullying through. If you've got parked cars on your side of the road, then you need to be considering holding back. Parked cars on the other side of the road, you need to be thinking about changing position, because invariably the traffic will just come through anyway if you're on a bike. So 1, 2, 3 position, be flexible depending on what you see. So meeting traffic, crossing traffic, yeah. So again, if it's safe, you don't want to be crossing and making vehicles slow down because you're crossing. Don't make any vehicles change speed or direction on your test, because you can have a problem if you do. So crossing traffic if it's safe. And remember, I did say about the flashing of the lights of somebody. If you interpret it correctly, take advantage of it. Why not? Okay, so crossing of traffic. Section number 22, positioning. So positioning, you should position your machine in a safe position. As a general rule, in the center of your lane. Command position 2. You should keep clear of parked vehicles and position yourself correctly for the direction you tend to take. Where lanes are marked, you should have kept to the middle of the lane and avoided straddling lane markings. You should not change lanes when not needed. Be aware of where you are at all times as other road users judge what you may do based on this. So yeah, positioning. You've got 3 positions in your lane, 1, 2, 3, so use them accordingly. Yeah, very important, but your normal ride in position 2. And I say the key word is to be flexible. Be flexible, because road surface, obstructions, traffic, you're going to change that position accordingly. Right, so we're getting there. We are getting there. Pedestrian crossings, number 23. You needed to identify the different types of pedestrian crossings and have taken the correct action. You should have timed your approach to crossings so that you travel at a speed which will allow you to stop safely if you needed to do so. You needed to pay particular attention where crossings are obscured by queuing or parked vehicles, and show consideration for elderly or infirm pedestrians who are trying to cross the road. So pedestrian crossings. What have we got? We've got zebra, pelican, toucan, puffin, equestrian, Pegasus. And there's a new one in Stockport. Anybody know what that is? There is a new pedestrian crossing in Stockport. They're trialing it. Anybody know what that is? Saw it on the news a couple of days ago. So make sure that you know what they are, who uses them, how you supposedly deal with them. As for an example, I had somebody fail on the module 2 for coming up to a zebra crossing. And somebody's still on the zebra, waiting to cross the zebra crossing. They come to a stop, and they're doing this. Come on. No, don't beckon anybody. Wait, let them make the decision. If you have issues with your headphones, you pull over on the side of the road, and they will sort it out. What would you do at a pelican crossing flashing amber? Yeah, if it's safe to go. Don't have to wait. So make sure you're comfortable. Who uses a toucan crossing? Muffin crossing. No, you don't get a prize. It's not a muffin crossing. You're not even close. You'll laugh when, if you Google it, you'll know what it is. It's not a muffin. Although muffin crossing, that would be an interesting one, wouldn't it? Yeah. But no, like it. So like cyclists and pedestrians. Yeah. So toucan, cyclists can. So that's what you're anticipating. But it's important to approach your zebra crossings at a controlled speed. Anticipate. Don't ease off approaching them, but be prepared that something might. Okay. Sparrow crossing. That's the one, Chris. Good man. A sparrow crossing. Hey, so that is a new one, a sparrow crossing. Yeah, there's plenty of hobnobs for Graham. Puffin crossing is the pedestrian user friendly. The ones with the sensors. Yeah, it's the ones with the sensors. But the new one is a sparrow crossing. Christopher Charles, well done. So yeah, and of course the white zigzags at a pedestrian crossing, you're not allowed to park there. Okay. So that's pedestrian crossing. Normal stops. This is a good one. Yeah, as I said, he could be getting you to park half a dozen times on normal stops. You need to choose a safe, legal, and convenient place to stop close to the edge of the road where you will not obstruct the road and create a hazard. You should know how and where to stop without causing danger, inconvenience for other road users. Not uncommon for him to ask you to pull over half a dozen times. You do not park on double yellow lines. You do not park on single yellow lines. You do not park on a drop curb blocking somebody's driveway. You do not park within 10 meters of a junction. You do not park in a bus stop. You do not park on a bend. You do not park on the brow of a hill. You do not park on a white zigzag pedestrian crossing. These are no-go areas. So don't rush. Find somewhere safe. Don't rush. Take your time. Yeah. The only time, as I said, park on double yellow lines is if he's lost at a junction or a traffic light. He cannot keep up with you, so he needs to keep you in a visual. So in that case, when he's lost you, you can pull over on double lines. That's acceptable. I do have a video. We'll put the link down below, but really is simple, and he will be asking you to do that quite a few times. And what he's looking at is where you're parking, how you're parking, and then how you're moving off. So of course, when you're parking, when you're moving off, don't interfere with anybody. If you're moving away, say you're doing the moving off exercise, because he could say, park up behind that little silver Fiesta. Why I say a silver Fiesta, I don't know. I could say a Porsche. Park up behind that Porsche. He knows where that car's going to be. It's a daily route. So park up behind it. And when you're moving away, if you're moving away, then you know all the observations. You're moving away, and then you're on the other side of the road, or and there's a car coming towards you, and he's slowing down. You're going to pick up the serious fault. So make sure you don't interfere with anybody when you're moving off and when you're stopping. What's involved with the DAS? DAS is just direct access. It's just an old school term. Category A license. You've got to be over 24 Milani. So DAS is direct access. You've got to be over 24. It's category A, the new category A. So direct access is just an old school term. You have to do module 1, whether you're doing an A1 test, an A2 test, or an A-DAS test. You have to do module 1 and 2. Lots of videos. We're talking tonight about module 2. It's a road test. Module 1. Last week's live stream, we talked about module 1 in detail. Go back to last week's live stream and have a look. But you have to do module 1. You have to do module 2. Before that, though, you need to have done your CBT and your theory test. DAS is still module 1 and 2. DAS is for anyone over 24. Yeah, correct. It's just an old school term, DAS, direct access. It's old school, but still used today. So normal stops. Awareness and planning number 25. Awareness and planning. The examiner will have looked to see that you are aware of other road users at all times. You should always think and plan ahead. So you can judge what other road users are going to do, predict how their actions will affect you and react in good time, anticipate road and traffic conditions, acting in good time rather than reacting at the last minute. Take particular care to consider the actions of the more vulnerable groups of road users, such as pedestrians, cyclists, and other motorcyclists and horse riders. So yeah, it's reacting to stuff in a safe, well-timed manner. If you see a horse rider, you're not just going to carry on with your speed. Be sensible, get your speed down. Change your position if you need it. You might even need to stop. But, if you're seeing cyclists and stuff, anticipate. The earlier you identify hazards, the more time you've got to deal with them, and the more time you can deal with them slowly. So, if you're going around, you're not looking and planning and anticipating, then it's going to be a hard work for you. Okay, always have time. Always have time to respond. Number 26 is bends. So bends on your test, you must make sure that you approach bends having assessed the severity correctly and in plenty of time. You need to have adjusted your speed and select the appropriate gear whilst travelling upright in a straight line. You needed to position the machine safely to give you a good view around the bend, keeping clear of any oncoming traffic. You needed to ensure you negotiated the bend at a safe speed and under full control. You must avoid any unnecessary braking while the machine is leaned over. So bends. Yeah, people do struggle on a Module 2 test on bends. So we don't want brakes on a bend, and we don't want changing gear on a bend. You plan on approach, get your speed, get your gear down according to visibility. How you can tell how the visibility is by looking early. Look at the hedgerows, look at the lamp posts, look at where the road goes. So adjust your speed and your gear on approach so that you'll ride in the bend. You don't want brake lights on a bend. You don't want gear changes on a bend. You will pick up faults. So forward planning. Positioning on bends. On a right-hand bend, position 1 opens up your visibility, means that you're leaning over, your head's not over that center white line. Okay, you want to come to position 1. It opens up your visibility. It gives you a better field of view and so forth. On a left-hand bend, though, stay in position 2. We don't want you drifting over to the white line on a left-hand bend at this level. Post-test training, advanced stuff, yes, but left-hand bend, yeah, center of the lane. So think of those position change is only on the right-hand bend. But again, be flexible. So bends, really important. It's all about that forward planning. Secondly, then, not secondly, where did that come from? Secondly, lastly, or finally, we've got on the report eco safe riding. So, you know, eco, if you're if you're riding in the wrong gear, revving the engine at traffic lights, or you're screaming along in second gear, eco safe riding. Think of the environment. We always recommend you travel in the highest possible gear for the speed. You don't want the engine laboring, you don't want it racing. So think about eco safe riding, because you can pick up faults. So that's sort of where we are with the test report. I think I've covered most things. Again, there's a few questions coming through, so which is good. If you think I could add anything to that, then please do comment away. But tonight's subject is Module 2, and I am there's a lot of information coming in there. There's a lot of information there, and what I'm not saying to you is this is how you do it. What you want to do is take from this. You want to take it and use it. You know, speak to your instructors. They know your riding. Speak to your instructors. They will give you the necessary advice. Use this as a tool, as an aid to assist what you're doing. So I'm not telling you to do this and do that. That's my take on it. Been teaching for 20 years. And there's a lot of useful information there, which is all free of charge. And we've got a lot of instructors there helping you as well. But combine it at your school with your instructors, okay? So I'm going to now disappear for 5 minutes because I need to visit the restroom. But Charlie, who is, becoming a regular feature on this live feed, is coming now. And he's just going to have a little chat to you about what his sort of involvement is in on Module 2. Not just Module 2, but CBT and so forth. You know, talk to you about, how he judges what lessons you need or whatever or anything like that. So I've seen RJH vids on common fail mod 2. Any value in touching on most common fail areas? Yeah, well, first 5 minutes, last 5 minutes, probably the most where you're going to fail. Nerves, and then just relaxing. Nerves at the beginning of the test, relaxing at the end of the test. But what people can fail: leaving the indicator on, missing your lifesavers, making a car, other vehicle change speed or direction. I would say, are the common ones, or missing a speed sign, response to signs and signals. So yeah, those are the sort of common ones. So I'm gonna just hand you. I'll be back shortly for 8:30. So we've got 44 people watching, 41 likes. Let's see those rise up, please. The competition is coming in 5 minutes time. So I'm going to hand you over to Charlie. There you go.
The boss has arrived. Hello, everyone. Oh, close the door. Good evening, everyone. 45 viewers, and that will rise. I'm expecting that to reach 60 in the next few minutes. That would be nice. Let's show who the boss is around here. And you're looking at him over here. So, yeah, good evening, everyone. I've been watching the live video that Rob's been doing. Walking through the module 2. So I think Rob wants me to give you a bit of a brief on how I book people in for the module 2s and the process behind it. Hi everyone, hi Donna, hi Lisa, hi AW8UK, Graham, good evening everyone. So, module 2. Now, within all the courses that we offer for your direct access, all of them will include a module 2 training session. Now, module 2, like Rob has discussed throughout this whole live feed, is your 40-minute road ride with an examiner following behind you. Now, there's different courses that we offer and different amounts of module 2 trainings are included. If you're an advanced rider, you require not as many module 2 training sessions. If you're a beginner, you're going to require a little bit more training for module 2. So the training for the module 2 is done in 3-hour slots with the instructors. The instructors will train you up to a standard to make you pass your module 2 test. And like Rob said earlier in the feed, they will not send you for test for your module 2 test more specifically unless you're test standard, because we want everyone to pass first time. And if you're not ready and you don't feel confident in going to pass your module 2, then we won't send you down. We would always advise a top-up session prior to your test. Now that's where I come into play, because I book it all in for everybody. So anyone that phones up RJH, they will more than likely come through to me, and it will be me that sorts out all of their schedules and all of their training. So I will book in their training days and tests. So for module 2, I tend to get that module 2 training session booked in a few days prior to their module 2 test. Now that then gives them the confidence knowing that before their test, they're getting their training done a couple of days prior. And you always feel confident if you're going in for your module 2 training, then you test a few days later, rather than leaving big gaps in between. So I sort out the full schedule for everybody, and they get their module 2 training session even before their module 1 test. The instructors recommend getting all your training done prior to both of your tests, because it's good practice to get on the bike, to understand how the bike works, and do the different maneuvers needed in order to pass your test. So that's how it works with us. What we're on, 44 viewers, 41 likes, fantastic. Keep up the support.
I think Charlie does very well with the. Well, Charlie sort of picked up the certainly for us from Lisa, and Lisa over the last 10 years has looked after all the sort of bookings and everything, and she still does get involved with the bookings, but Lisa sort of gets all the tests and stuff like that. So Lisa's buying the tests, and because we use 8 test centers, interesting. I had a guy the other day. He phoned, was training him yesterday and today, and in Manchester he's coming all the way from Huddersfield, and he won't mind me talking, Stephen, but he's coming all the way from Huddersfield. I was just chatting to him, well, how come you coming over from Huddersfield? We're getting people from Huddersfield, we're getting people from up north, south, so people are starting to travel. And the main reason he said that he came to us, because he'd shopped about, and the main reason he said is how quickly Charlie got back to him and got a schedule of training to him. That was one reason. And the other reason is that he initially got in touch with us. So I say the top reason he came to us is because of how you got on the telephone with him. But also he chose us because we use, I think we use 8 to 10 test centers, and the schools that are local to him on his doorstep only use 1 test center. And because they only use 1 test center, this in Wakefield, I think they've got one examiner, whereas we use 8 test centers. One of our test centers in St. Ansted had 3 examiners, so we're conducting tests every day of the week, and that is why he came to us. And because you scheduled that quick gave him his test dates and his training.
Correct. People don't want to be waiting around for months and months. They want to get a schedule, get the training done, and get their test passed.
Yeah. So that was good.
Just a quick one here. Hi guys, are Module 1 and Module 2 always done on the same day? And if I pass Mod 1 but fail Mod 2, do I have to resit Mod 1? Good question, Sam Young. So Mod 1 and Mod 2 aren't done on the same day.
Can be.
It can be. I've not witnessed that whilst working here. Usually it's done on different days. Now, the reason we do that is if you fail your Mod 1 and your Mod 2 is the day after on the same day, you lose out on your Mod 2 test because you can't go for your Mod 2 test without having passed your Mod 1. Now, if you end up failing your Mod 1, what did you say? If I pass my Mod 1 but fail my Mod 2, you don't have to resit the Mod 1 again. You've just got to repay for a Module 2 test.
Yeah. Yeah. So Mod 1 lasts for 2 years. When you pass it, it lasts for 2 years. So you can have as many goes at Mod 2, but it all then expires when your theory expires. So you need to pass your Mod 2 before your theory test expires.
And also CBT you would have to renew.
Yeah. Cumbria, yeah. So we're getting people from Cumbria. We get people from all the way around. Right then, so we're going to have a look at the competition now. What's on offer, ladies and gents, is the lanyard, the RJH lanyard, RJH neck tube, and the RJH summer cap. So these three are on offer, okay? And what I'm looking for is the first correct answer. And this is really more aimed at RJH fans. So if you are followers of RJH, these answers should come up quite easily. Yeah, and to get everybody else a chance to win this week. Yeah, yours is coming, Darren. Don't you worry. We've had a busy week. Some of us instructors are working 3 shifts, 9 hours in a day. So we're absolutely all flat out. I can't tell you how flat out we are. So I've not had a chance to even put it in an envelope and get it.
And the RJH pants.
Yeah,
we can look into it.
We can look into it. Yeah, they need to be an extra large size for me.
Triple XL for me.
You'd want a pee-wee small size. No, but yeah, we can certainly sort something out. 3 questions. 8:30. Yeah, 3 questions. First correct. Oh, that's the wrong sheet. There, you've got the wrong sheet. Blimey. Right then, what was the date? And I'm looking for the date, month, and the year. What was the date of RJH first CBT training? So what is the date that RJH first did CBT training? I'm looking for the date, month, and the year. That's question number 1. Question number 2, what town was RJH founded in? Okay, so we're looking at the date that RJH first conducted CBTs, and we're looking at the town that RJH was founded in. All right, and this one may be a little bit of a more tricky one, but what is, how many currently do we have bikes in RJH fleet? So how many bikes across the 3 sites of RJH got in the fleet? Question 1, 2, and 3. So waiting for that.
All vote now.
And that is the 3 questions, which will give you the bundle of lanyard, neck tube, and cap. So date RJH first conducted CBTs. What town was RJH founded, and how many bikes are currently in the RJH fleet?
This could be a tricky one.
Could be a tricky one. Okay, so what was the date of RJH's first CBT training? So what date did RJH first conduct CBTs? Second question is, what town was RJH founded? And the third question is, how many bikes are currently in the RJH fleet? So that's the 3 questions. We'll wait for those answers. Now, hope tonight's video has been useful. Module 2 training. We will be going back through this cycle again. I might look at changing the day and the time, because I know Friday night 7 o'clock might be sort of a bit of a hot spot for other things going on. And I know tonight we've not had as many viewers as we had last week, but we've had a good interaction and stuff. So, you know, thanks very much for that. How many bikes in RJ? Correct. 36 bikes.
Sheath.
36?
Come on, Sheath.
So yeah, it's been a good one tonight, and I think that was quite a meaty content there.
Informative.
Very informative. I think that.
But it's important because if you do one of these things incorrectly, that could be costing your test.
Yeah.
8th of March 2003 in Congleton.
Yeah, well done. We're looking for the first 3 correct answers.
Christopher Charles.
Yeah. So the first 3 correct answers. Not quite there, Chris. Not quite
Close.
there. Yeah, close, but not quite there.
Close, but no cigar.
So yeah, we did a poll last week on subjects for the live feeds, and it's interesting how so there's we had 92 votes, and the 92 votes were the highest percentage topic is A1, A2 and DAS. So I suppose recapping on just highlighting on this evening module 2, you do the module 2 whether it's an A1, whether it's an A2, or whether it's direct access, it's all the same. So any category of license, A1 17 to 19, A2 19 to 24, A over 24, all have to do what we've just discussed, module 2. So module 1 and module 2. So they're all the same. Although if you're on an A1, you're probably not going to take you on a dual carriageway, which is 70 miles an hour, because you're not going to possibly get up to that. So it's, relative to, but it is the same process. Have we got any correct answers?
Not yet. I think Christopher Charles is the closest.
Chris is the closest, yeah. Chris is the closest. So we're looking for the date. So we're looking for the specific day, month and year of first CBT training. And we're looking for the town that RJH was founded. And we're looking for how many bikes are in the fleet. Hello, Stefan.
34 of you are still on, which is good.
Yeah.
Thank you for your support. Yeah, of course.
Hey. Yeah, so module 2. So what if somebody phoned up now and wanted the module 2 test? What are we looking at time-wise? Are we looking at
module 2 test? Yeah. So
can we still get people in quickly? Or
well, yeah, as Rob said before, there's we use 8 different test centres to go for your test. Now, if the worst comes to the worst, and say you're located in Northwich and we can't get you in for a test in Northwich, you've always got the option to travel to our Eccles site and we can get you in for a module 2 test. Now, it's usually dependent on a couple of factors. Number 1 is if you can take time off work to be able to come for your test, but also number 2, if we've got the test available and the instructor's available to take you for test, because there's some people in the past that have called me up saying, I need a mod 2 test. I've booked one myself online, and they say, can we take them for test? Now, it's a bit of a difficult one because we book the test for you within the courses that we offer. So we take you, when we book the tests, we book them in a diary for you and we take you to the test centres. Now, if people are booking their own tests online, then they're running the risk that we won't have instructors or bikes available to take them there. That's why we include the test fees in the cost to take you down for tests. Tests at the moment are like gold dust. Everybody wants them. Yeah. Everybody wants to get on 2 wheels, especially with COVID. People don't want to be going on public transport such as buses, Metrolinks, trains, etc. So they want to be getting on 2 wheels out in the open on their own. So no risks or contamination of COVID. So tests at the moment are extremely limited. But again, we use 8 test centres, so there is tests available. If you want to know when the next test available is, give me a call and I can get you booked in as soon as we can.
Yeah. Okay, still waiting for the correct answers, guys. We're nearly there, but not quite. Adam, how long on average does it take to get mod 2 standard starting pass? Depends on yourself, mate. The more time you put in, the quicker you're going to get there. Everybody learns at different abilities. We've had people that spend a week with us from CBT up to mod 2. We've had others that have taken 12 months. So, depends how much time and how quickly you can put that time into. That's a simple answer to that. No, Dave, nearly there, mate. Not quite. Andrej, if lockdowns has wasted the most of the time out of these 2 years to begin from, yeah, that's the law, unfortunately. And there are a lot of people that have had to start the process again because of lockdown. I mean, the government have not extended the CBT. The government have not extended the theory test. So, yeah, that's just how it is at the moment, I am afraid to say.
Dave, theory test. I know a lot of people have been calling me saying theory tests are a nightmare, but in more recent days, people have been managing to get the DVLA releasing more theory tests. So people can get in, and I recommend booking cancellations, looking for cancellations every night because they do pop up. Now, you can do all of your training without a theory test. You just cannot get named for tests without a valid theory. So hopefully that will help you.
If you pass Mod 1 and then didn't take Mod 2 before your CBT and theory expired, do you have to take Mod 1 again? Yes, you do. You need a valid CBT, you need a valid theory test certificate, and you need a Module 1 pass after that valid theory test certificate. So yes, you do. Tons of theory tests available. Just keep refreshing. Yes, Adam, keep refreshing. They are opening up more slots and more slots. We're still waiting for a winner. So we've got the the best one. I think Chris is still the best. Got 2 out of the 3. So 2 out of the 3, very good. We're just waiting for that last final one. 8th of March 2003, Congress, Cheshire. No, not quite, Dave. Nearly there, mate. That is correct, isn't it?
I don't think so. I think there's a couple more.
Oh, I've added them up.
Really?
Yeah, I've added them up.
Including the ones in Northwich, the recent ones?
Absolutely.
And the new scooters?
Yeah. Yeah.
Got to maybe go back to my maths class again.
If you have a look at it, add up on here.
I thought there was more than that.
No, that's what I've added up.
So the date of the first CBT training, you guys got it correct. Being the 8th.
So you add it up. So Eccles, how many is in Eccles? There's the Regis.
6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 8, yeah.
There. Northwich.
Yeah.
And there's 2 in Wigan waiting, so we've got the 2.
So that's a lot more than that.
Is it?
Yes.
Well, no, go on. You tell me that. How many is there?
2, 4, 6, 8.
No, that's not in yet. Go in the fleet now. We've got the reg numbers. Go by the reg numbers.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Don't. Yeah, count slowly.
Next. Yeah.
And there's 2 at the moment, but we haven't got the regs.
Okay, so then you are right.
I'm always right.
Even when you're wrong.
I'm always right. So we're not quite there. Not quite there. So yeah, 20 minutes. So any questions? Anybody got any more questions? The 4th lockdown is coming with 13 tiers. Yeah, well, that wouldn't surprise me.
Nope. These guesses of how many bikes we got are a bit out, aren't they?
They are a bit out. Yeah.
A clue. That's what
is
we're
the
striving
prize
to get.
for the correct answers? Right. So you're getting an RJH lanyard, RJH neck tube, and an RJH summer cap. Those are the prizes.
Still 35 viewers.
So we've got 2 out of 3 answers correct. No, Darren, lower.
In the next 5 years, when I start to get a more of a managerial role, that's what I'm going to strive towards. Is 50 bikes. There's your clue.
No, in the RJH fleet, Graham. In the RJH fleet.
45 likes. Remember, like, subscribe, share the video. It does help to spread the word.
Ooh.
Christopher, 39 bikes.
No.
Think you need to ask the audience.
Phone a friend.
Or 50-50. Computer will remove 2 random wrong answers.
Yeah. So what would everybody like as a topic next week? I'll put a poll back out, I think. Might go back to the CBT one. I know we're going to do an advanced one shortly, but post test training one worked up.
I know last week a maintenance one.
Maintenance, yeah, maintenance. Or another one was bike related gear. We had a few requests on videos for last week. Doesn't have time.
Dave.
Closer, Dave.
Closer. Dave.
Yeah, it's just the quantity of bikes that we're after.
Is Dave after 2 neck tubes and 2 hats and 2 lanyards?
Possibly. Yeah, nearly there. So yeah, next week might be then maintenance, or yeah, could look at bike gear. But I want to go back to the CBT one again as well. No, 24, no, keep it going.
Anything else Module 2 related that we can inform?
Oh, what happens when you pass your Module 2 test? Your examiner will, with your permission, send your license off. Okay, now, and then you get a new one in the post. But if you don't want him to, then keep it. Andrej,
do you have finance options available for training courses to get more in debt? We do. It's just been brought into play. The finance option. You can spread the costs out
through
pay later.
It's all on the website.
All on the website. If you need any help, buddy, give me a call tomorrow. I can walk you through the process and get you signed up, and we can get you on the road to getting your full bike license, buddy.
Nearly, yeah, we're nearly getting there. So we're just after one more answer correct. So we've got 2 out of the 3 correct. We're just looking for the final answer.
Ellen, unfortunately, there isn't 55 bikes. Maybe one day in the future.
Ellen, when's Ellen with us?
Ellen's booked in next week or the week after for a Mod 1 test.
Gear, Alan wants bike gear. Yeah, we're looking at doing a bike gear one. Yeah, definitely.
Dave, close.
No. Yes. Darren S. We want
we want all 3 answers
we need
in one.
all 3 answers in one.
Who's the quickest to type now?
All 3 answers correct.
All 3 answers written down visually.
Come on, Dave, get bloody typing, mate. You got all the answers there. You just need to write it. The quickest one to write it down.
Dan modelling fan, unfortunately not. Darren S.
He's cheeky, isn't he?
He's cheeky, this Darren, you know. He's cheeky. RS. RS came in second.
Well, you got this as he's the winner.
Darren S is the winner.
Darren S is the winner. He was the winner last week.
He was. It's costing us a fortune to post it to this, Darren, you know.
But what did he say? He said, give it Dave.
Give it Dave. Which one's Dave? Ellen, you in on Sunday? Good luck.
Yeah, so we got Darren S as the winner.
Darren S is the winner again.
Give it Dave, please. Okay, so Darren S, Dave Smith. Yeah, so we're going to give your Dave Smith. Darren is 1, and he's asking me to send it to you, Dave. So, Dave, I want you to email info@rjhgroup.co.uk with your address, mate, and we'll get those sent off next week. All right? So that's good. Right, I think we're very nearly wrapping up then. So we got that to going out. So we'll get Dave Smith's address. And yeah, so not a bad night.
Very good night. Very good night. What would people want to see next week? Any more suggestions?
And what day? What day and time?
Because Friday night people may want to go to the pub.
Well, we're out of lockdown. We've been out of lockdown now, so it has been a little bit lower, a lot of interaction, but a little bit lower. But I think Friday night, 7 o'clock, maybe not the night to do it for. So what, what day? And I can do a poll on that anyway. Get a bit of, what will be the best day and time.
But still 34 viewers on after an hour and 50 minutes. It's great support.
Yeah, we've got, listen, we'll have...
I've enjoyed watching my first live YouTube. Cheers.
Great.
Our pleasure, Michaelo.
Andy, I think we will be looking at, there will be 40 bikes probably in the next 2 months. We're Wigan opening up. And yeah, I think there'll be 40 bikes.
Mod 2 on Tuesday down here in deepest, darkest Dorset. Can't wait. If someone flashes you as if to let you pull out of a junction, should you go after making your own checks or should you ignore them, Rob? Yeah, take advantage of it. If you're comfortable that it is for you, and you've interpreted it all correctly, then take advantage of it.
But yeah, you could be, if you're not taking advantage, it'd be held, not making any sort of progress. So yes, if you're clear, if you're happy and it's safe to do so, go. Andy, nice one. 50 plus once I'm fully qualified, and we have a school here too, lol. Andy, you start looking, mate. You're over that east side of northeast of Manchester. You find me a similar plot to what you've got in Eccles, and yes, I will be more than happy to open up for you over there, mate.
RJH, how to deal with anxiety before a test whilst waiting for the examiner.
Have a good breakfast and make sure you've got a lot of fluid, so you're hydrated. So good breakfast, hydrated, or lunch, hydrated. So yeah, don't go on an empty stomach and unhydrated.
Thanks, Malcolm. PC Gamers UK, Mod 2 on Monday. I will post, pass or fail in next week's live stream. Great amount of info and perfect timing. Thank you very much.
That's what
we appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for all the great information. Have a great evening. You too, Janine. Have a good evening. Carmel jumped on here late, but thanks.
Play back. You can watch it. It's going on the live feed section, so you can watch it back, Carmel, because there is a lot of information. Yeah. So this is now on the YouTube channel, and there's a lot of good content. So yeah, you can play it back. Yeah, Andy, you find me somewhere. I'm there, mate. I am there. We are actively looking for new schools in the northwest.
To go to a toilet after having a lot of fluid in a test, and there's a whole religious ritual involved. Thank you, RJH, some viewers. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Darren, have a great weekend, buddy. Keep well.
Got yours. Yeah, we've got that, Dave. Just come through, mate. So that'll be sent next week.
Email sent, Lord Rob and Lord Charlie. Thank you, Dave. Have a great evening, Dave.
Lord Charlie.
Lord Charlie. I could get used to that. So yeah, coming towards the end of the live now. I think Mod 2 has been a good success. Hopefully you can all take away even just one thing away from the live stream, then we've done our job. Well, Rob's done his job.
I've got three hours Saturday, 3 hours Sunday with Graham in Manchester. We're absolutely
bombarded,
aren't we? Got 3 hours. Three hours.
It's a lot, and that's why I usually say to people to spread it out, spread your training out over a couple of weeks, because 3 hours, you think it's not a lot, but what you can learn in a 3 hour slot is tremendous. So many new things that you would never have learned. Especially being on a bike, it's different to a car. You're out in the open, you're on your own. You've got to be a bit more aware of things. And again, there was a gentleman that came in. I'm not sure if he's on the live stream tonight, by the name of Andrew, who came into Northwich today. He's a 78-year-old gentleman, and he's had his bike license for many, many years, and he wants some refreshers. And he came in today, and he was telling me he's a better car driver now that he's had these lessons because of the training that he's had.
Yeah.
People say that when they come on a bike, because you've got to be more alert and aware, your car sense as well improves massively. So people are saying now that everyone should have to take a CBT to improve road safety and road knowledge. So don't know what you guys think about that, but yeah, it's definitely something to think about.
Yeah, definitely.
The sheaf strikes again. Sheaf.
Right then. So I think that's coming up to 2 hours. Should we maybe? Yeah.
We'll call it a day.
So thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good weekend. Stay safe, and we'll catch up with you again next week. Okay. All the best.
So thank you all. The Lords are out.
Bye, mate.